Hello, and welcome back to the podcast where you are invited for lighthearted conversations about things that matter as you seek to live your most meaningful, beautiful, and joyful life. I'm your host, Dr. Edie Wadsworth, and I hope you enjoy your stay here at the House of Joy. Welcome back to House of Joy.
Welcome back.
We're so happy to be here.
Yes.
Emily May, we're back on the House of Joy sofa. We're back. We're so excited about today's episode because the inspiration for this episode, you guys, which is, midlife crisis to midlife calling, although obviously you don't have to be in midlife, so Emmy's going to share some stuff too. But the inspiration for this episode was one little known picture my girls found of me during my midlife crisis when I got a pixie cut.
Yeah, I kind of didn't remember this fully. I think I was probably like 12 or something.
Yeah.
Around that age when you did this. And at the time, it was like, I didn't think twice about it. But she just went to the hair salon. And she had you had been talking about doing it for a while.
I found an inspiration picture.
She wanted a platinum pixie.
Platinum pixie. Which I got. But what I discovered afterwards is I don't really have the face shape for a pixie.
It was interesting.
To say the least.
And, well, a while ago, actually, we found that picture on your blog. She has, like, a very sultry, like, what is it called? Selfie?
A sultry selfie.
And it doesn't look like you at all. You have, like, these wispy, like, pixie cut bangs.
Yeah.
Your whole head was actually a pixie cut.
Yeah.
And it was in fact platinum.
And it was in fact platinum.
Yeah. So
that kind of brought up this topic, and so we're going to explore that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that time in my life. We're going to talk about that. And both of us kind of share back and forth how we have sort of navigated through seasons like that can feel a little awkward, that can feel a little weird. It's funny because we've talked about this because our little Tommy boy is going through his own changes of puberty. Listen, you guys, those hormone changes are hard for everybody no matter what phase you're in. If you're 24 and your hormones are changing, if you're 11, if you're 43, like I was the first time when I started to feel the changes there, and it affects so many parts of your life. We're going to kind of dive into that today.
Yes,
so we're excited. Here's the thing also that I was thinking about, because we just came off an epic weekend.
we had a big weekend. My friends all came to Morristown Bean Station to have my engagement party this weekend, and it was so fun.
Engagement party. It was so glorious, so amazing, you guys.
It was really fun.
We had, I think, the most people we've ever had at our house.
I don't think we would have ever had that many
50?
people.
We had
No.
50 people here. It was incredible. We got to meet all of Haddon's family. They are the most precious.
It was so fun.
Shout out to Granddaddy and Cac. I love you so much. I'm obsessed with you.
And they all drove. When me and Mom were planning this, Haddon's leaving this month.
He's deploying to the Middle East, you guys. So pray for him.
So
pray for him.
We knew that we wanted to have celebrate our engagement with everybody.
Yeah.
But when we invited Haddon's family, they live 7 hours
away
from our house. So we really didn't know if they were going to come.
And had no expectations. Of course, we wanted everybody
to come. Of
course,
we hoped that they would come, but it's a long drive.
I think he had as many people here as we did.
I know, and all of his family came. Shout out to his family.
They just show up, you guys.
They were so happy to be there.
So incredible.
It was so incredible, and all of our friends and all of my family, and it was just so special to have all of those people there.
Yes.
Together before he leaves. And
Dawn and I, Haddon's mom, she is so precious. She and I were already conspiring a sleepover next summer where she's gonna come. We're gonna teach her how to wake surf because she's already an amazing skier. I'm like, oh, you have to learn how to wake surf.
She'll be really good at it.
Yeah, she will. So we had, and before that, we all went to the Tennessee football game.
Yes.
The day before that, Ellie came home. Marcus came home. We had the babies. Next day, we had the football game. Then we had all the family over Saturday night. We had M's party the next day. Then a bunch of friends spent the night that night, and we played on the lake literally all day.
All day.
Stevie and I and Marcus even went back out after we had been on the lake all day. Marcus goes, should we go for one more wake surfing session at sunset. Stevie and I looked at each other like, okay. And then
yeah,
we're like,
I was in the bed. I was in the bed. I was like, I can't. I've never felt more. It's like exhausted when you had come back from summer camp or something.
That's
as
what
a
it felt
kid.
like.
You had so much fun. You literally spent every single ounce of
energy
yourself
yes
into a weekend. So it was amazing, but I've never felt exhaustion like that. I was like,
yeah, so we left all the young folks and we went out and wake surfed. You guys, we did not get back to the house till it was dark. It was like 8:30, 8:45, something like that. I told Stevie, I said, listen, we just wrang every little ounce of sunshine out of summer.
I know, and I didn't realize like Labor Day is really the last. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it's like kind of the last hurrah of summer.
Hurrah! So it was incredible. And what I was talking about this because the way I experienced the weekend, because a weekend like that for the mom who's hosting, who's doing food for that many different events, for that many different people, making sure people have places to sleep, like it can be a very really overwhelming adventure. And I had set my intention for that event like 2 weeks ago. I had started envisioning what I wanted it to look like. I started planning stuff way ahead of time, getting the food all situated. I even had a session with my life coach and decided like I want to experience so much love and joy. I want to be truly present. I want to be able to do the things. I want to be able to wake surf too. Like I don't want to be like in the background being the martyr going like that I'm not really enjoying it myself. But I think in order to do that, you kind of have to come at it with a lot of intention. Mm-hmm. And it made me think about like things that I've hosted before years ago when I was struggling, when I was probably really struggling through the midlife stuff. Maybe I had a pixie cut back then, who knows? Where I would experience a weekend like that and have resentment, like, you know, I had to do everything and such, like where I didn't even really enjoy it because I was delegating my emotions to everybody else. If something went wrong, you know, it would be hard for me to handle and I would bury all my emotions. It's funny because we just came through several days where both you and I cried.
Yes.
Like we did have moments.
Yep.
Mine wasn't even related to the event. It was actually the next day. We both like had our moment. We let the emotion out. We allowed ourselves to be where we were and didn't make ourselves wrong for it and were able to move through it. And it just makes me so thankful for the tools that I have learned that have helped me come through a weekend like that and truly enjoy it. And really have been present for it myself. I remember, like, I was thinking about this ahead of time. I was so excited to meet Granddaddy and Khaki. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to feel, like, overwhelmed and distracted. I just wanted to be able to, like, hold their little cheeks in my hands and go, I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you. I just wanted to be able to really connect and, you know, experience the whole thing. And then we asked Haddon's granddaddy to say a prayer over you guys and over Haddon for when he's gone. And, of course, then we all lost it. And it was just such a beautiful experience of so many emotions. And being able to be present for it is such a gift. I know,
it was such a gift. That's why I felt so, like, overwhelmed the day after. Mostly just out of, like, wow, we have such amazing people in our lives. And it is so sad that Haddon's leaving, but I think more than that, it's like you're so grateful that these people care so much about us both to come and even 7 hours for a day. Yeah. And I was feeling, I think, so overwhelmed after that because it's like, oh my gosh, we just are so blessed. Yeah. And it's almost hard to let your emotions comprehend that in a moment. Yes. But I did feel like during the party, we would just look around and be like, oh my gosh.
We were just like, oh, this is amazing. How many times did we say that? So many times. We were like, you guys, this is so incredible. This is so amazing that we could all be here together. It was so fun to connect with us all together before the wedding next year. I mean, I feel like now the wedding's just going to be the biggest, most fun party.
Just like friends reuniting.
All love each other, reuniting together. Yeah, it was so incredible. So I kind of want to go through a few things that I feel like will help people make the shift. So really, whether you are in what you would call a midlife crisis, we're going to talk about 3 ways that we can kind of shift that to where it feels more like a calling to where I do think that society has conditioned us that we're supposed to go through a crisis.
Well, I think it's like a mask because even now, even people my age are like, I'm in my, what would it be called?
Your 20
quarter life, yeah.
Quarter life crisis.
I'm in my quarter life crisis.
Yes.
But it's
which
more...
can feel like a real thing, right?
Yeah, like, am I going through that? I don't know. But, yeah, because we were talking about when I brought it up with Mom, you could technically call, like, quitting my job and coming here, like, a quarter life crisis if you wanted. But what that really is and what your body is trying to, like, tell you through that.
Yes.
Because is it really a crisis?
Right.
Is it really just something deep in you that wants to be, like, you know, heard or whatever?
Yes.
And so that's what brought up the conversation because we even think back to the pixie cut. Like, you were just...
You think a haircut... Listen, you guys. This is why you should never cut your bangs when you're...
You told me literally to cut wolf bangs.
I did tell you to cut wolf bangs, but that's because you're in a good, healthy place. Don't cut your bangs when you're in misery and you think that's going to fix it. Yeah. Because I was for sure... I saw this picture. I remember the picture. Instagram had just come out, I think. I saw this picture on Instagram. And it was this lady who looked like she was just rocking midlife. She looked my age... But she didn't look miserable and resentful. She didn't look like she had a ton of bad habits.
She's embracing this.
She was embracing it.
She has platinum.
She was glowing. She had platinum hair. It was gorgeous. And I thought to myself, that's what I want right there.
So it's the haircut.
So it's got to be the haircut. And then I got the haircut, you guys. And listen, who was cutting my hair at the time, who I love with all my heart, tried to talk me out of it.
Yeah.
He tried to talk me out of it. And the first version of it, because I just sprung it on him and I just had one picture. When I got out of the chair the first time, we ended up getting it to look better. But literally the first time when I got up, my first thought was, I look like the mom on Brady Bunch.
Oh, wow.
Did you think so?
I can't remember the first version. I can only remember that picture.
When I finally got it right. Like, yeah. Because it wasn't quite platinum. It wasn't quite
like it wasn't
pixie.
Blonde enough. It was kind of more of a...
And then we ended up getting it better. But what I'm trying to tell you is we always think it's something on the outside that's going to fix us. We think if the husband could change, if the hair could change, if the weight could change, if the boyfriend could change, the job could change. And over and over and over again, a million times a million, I have been learning it's never those things.
Yeah, it never is.
It never is. And the other thing that's so powerful is that when you learn that you're the one in charge of the change and when you can literally create the change from the inside out, a lot of the outside things do change.
Yeah.
But it's like an inside out change. And I would say that that would be like my first bit of advice is that it's not the outside thing.
Well, yeah, and if you're feeling like you're going through a crisis, meaning you need to change, I feel like most of the time when someone says they're going through a crisis is changing a bunch of things.
They're like, I need a new car, I need a new house, I need a new wife, I need a new...
It's probably something else that is inside that needs...
Because the problem is that if you don't do the work internally to decide how you want to experience your life, then you will just take the miserable, resentful you to the new haircut, to the new job, to the new car.
Yeah, it's kind of what we talked about in the last episode we did together.
Yeah,
which is like, I thought this new job at the time would cure all of the feelings I was having. Well, it turns out
I just bring those with me.
Yeah, it's just me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And the other thing, so that shift, and we'll link to that episode because we do explore way more like how to do that, like how to really think about your life in a way that will allow you to shift that. But the other thing, the second thing that I think is really important is that in this time of life, and I really believe this is true for any major transition. It could be your quarter life crisis or your puberty crisis or your midlife crisis. That there are things that are literally draining your energy.
Yes.
Whether that's hormone changes, whether that's the way you're eating and moving, whether that's the way that you're thinking that's draining your energy. Like there are really powerful things that are draining your energy that I think are preventing you from showing up. And I know for myself back then, I've said this before, but it's true. I had so much of an emotional burden that I was carrying that I literally felt like I weighed 1,000 pounds. Mm-hmm. I felt like everything I did felt hard. It felt like moving through life was like moving through quicksand. Like I would look at an event like we just had, I would dread it.
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to get through it? Oh my gosh, this is going to be so much. There's so much I have to do. It just would feel like you were doing something with like a rucksack on your back, like a heavy. I just bought a new rucksack a few months ago, and it literally does feel like back then. It's so heavy. It feels suffocating, I will say. It's very suffocating, but it feels like you're kind of walking through life like that. And I think we have both experienced that. I think.
Oh yeah, just recently.
Just recently, yeah.
But I mean, I definitely think with the tools that I have from your program, and just, you know, you are my mom, so even if it's not from there, it's coming from somewhere. Like, I was able to see that was the problem a lot faster.
Yeah.
But it does feel like, what is wrong with me? Like, I literally can't do anything the way I used to be able to do it. Or it just doesn't feel fun. Or
that is so often what I hear women in our program say. I don't feel like myself. I feel like I can't do anything the way I used to. Like, that not feeling like yourself is such a common feeling. You've said that several times in the last year. I just don't feel like myself.
Yeah. And it's not like some super deep, like, I think people, when they hear that, really, I think that's why we don't want to say it, is because it sounds like this, like, why would you admit that? Like, that's so scary that you don't feel like yourself. It feels so heavy to even say it. So you don't want to say it, but it's not that deep. It's like, I just don't feel like myself. I feel heavy. And so I felt scared to even admit it, because I knew that other people would feel like, well, is she okay? And then that makes you think about yourself. Like, okay, wait, am I okay? I feel like I could get through this, but I still don't feel like myself. And I think it's okay to admit that you don't feel like yourself. And
it's not to say that you don't still have hard things. Like, it's interesting, you guys, because we had a really rough day yesterday. It was the day after Labor Day. I knew it was going to kind of be a rough day. By 7:30 a.m., I was sitting at my island in tears, like literally crying. Tom was in the other room crying. Emmy comes upstairs like, what is happening in this house?
I did not know I was walking into.
What is happening here? And so many things throughout the day. Like,
it was crazy. It felt like we would get over a hump of something, and then immediately another thing would like come and.
Yeah, and we were supposed to be working. So I had this idea like, oh, this day is going to be amazing. We're going to get so much done. And it turned out not to be that way at all. So it's not to say that you don't have days like that or days that are way worse than that. But what we kept doing yesterday, we actually ended up getting still a lot of good stuff done. And what we ended up doing is just allowing what was happening, process it, cry if you need to cry, like whatever. I mean, we ended up in the afternoon on the porch at one point where Stevie and I and Tom were both all on the porch crying.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, some days are like that. It doesn't mean you're doing life wrong, but can we allow for that, allow those emotions, because resisting them takes so much of your energy.
Even like 2 weeks ago, I think I would have come here and shared that day with you and been like, I literally cannot handle this.
Yep.
Just because I was so resistant. And anyway.
So true. And then I think the third thing that I noticed about in general, but this event kind of highlighted it for me, is that here's what I truly believe, you guys. I truly believe that you right now, wherever you are living your dream life, your extraordinary life. And sometimes the only person missing it is you. Because when I look back to events that we would have had like this 10 years ago, not that much is different about the events. I had very much the same life.
Yeah.
Except I was missing out on it. Mm-hmm. Instead of learning how to embrace it, enjoy it, embrace all of life, every time things would go wrong, I would make it mean something was wrong. And I couldn't really be present for it and enjoy it. And I do think that is true, that your life is extraordinary if you are willing to do sometimes the courageous work to wake up to it, to show up to it, to be present for it in all its amazing glory and in all its difficulty and heartache. Like, if you are willing to show up for it, you really already have the life you're dreaming of, because what's required for you to have that life is for you to just wake up to the miracle of your life.
Yes. It reminds me of Timothy Willard's book.
Yeah.
Have you read?
Yes.
What is it called?
Beauty
Beauty
Chasers?
Chasers?
Yeah.
Because
we love Tim Willard, by the way.
It's a very similar concept.
Yeah.
Without, like, the practical
It is.
life stuff, but, well, I'm sure that's in there. But he basically is talking about God's creation and the beauty.
Waking up to the beauty.
That is literally all around you at all times.
Yeah.
And
that you may or may not be seeing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's all there for
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
at any given moment. Like, you can look outside and just the way the trees are moving or the wind and how intentional all of that is together. Like, you can wake up to that at any moment, but it has to be from, you know.
It's interesting because I knew that, because I had heard you guys talk so much about Haddon's grandparents. And I knew that they would be those kind of people, that just that present, connecting, like living in the moment, living in the magic of life, living in the gift of life.
Yep,
and when you meet somebody like that, it's so inspiring. And it's funny because Khaki said something like, oh my gosh, she said, Miss Edie, that Tom, his eyes sparkle, like his face lights up. There is something special about that boy. Oh. And as difficult as it can be sometimes with a boy in puberty, I'm like, you are so right. He is such a magical person.
He is.
The way he lights up a room, the way he looks and thinks about everything, that little bit of mischief that's always cooking up in the background, ready to do something, you know, like ready to really experience life. For example, he took out the four-wheeler yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Yesterday feels like a fever dream, like I forgot that happened.
It was a fever dream. But it's so funny because he goes out, he comes back, and he is covered in mud and water. And I went out and looked at the four-wheeler.
It's caked.
Caked with mud. And, you know, it's like I'm so used to that in a way with him that I don't know why it even ever surprises me. Why do I want to create 1 ounce of drama around it? Because this is just life with Tom.
Going to happen.
And so I'm like, okay, buddy, you're going to have to pull it down. So I give him all these instructions. You got to pull it downstairs, make sure it's in the grass, and start washing it off. It's going to take you forever. He pulls the four-wheeler onto the concrete. So I come home, and Emmy goes, don't even go downstairs. It's bad.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Well, I walked down there, and he had been, like, going at it already for a while, cleaning the thing. And I just
like
was going to see
3 inches of mud.
Yeah, I was just going to see his progress, and it's, like, right under the garage. Like, seriously,
on our lower
underneath porch. If you're watching on YouTube, there was this much mud underneath it that had been, like, drying because he was so focused on cleaning the actual four-wheeler. And I was like, you're going to have to clean all of this up before Dad gets home because you're not going to be excited about what that's going to be like for you. And I went upstairs and I was like, Mom, just don't even do it. Just don't go down there.
Of course I had to go down there. And then Emmy took one look at my face and she goes, I'll go help him clean it. Don't worry. So then Emmy's down there for an hour helping him clean it up. What I'm saying is, this is life with Tom. And something about Tom is that he is going to go all out. He is going to show up, live to the full, complete mud cakes on the tires of the four-wheeler. Like, he is going to really show up.
And
for
the thing
life.
about it, it's like, oh, that's so annoying, whatever. But the second I went down there, and I was like, this is just... And he was so enjoyable when you're down there. I was cleaning with him, and I honestly, like, would not have admitted it in the moment, but... I was kind of having fun with him cleaning it up down there, even though it was his mess that he, like, made happen. And
so unnecessary.
So unnecessary. But also, like, he was enjoying it so much.
Yeah, and I do feel like I have learned so much from him in that way. Mm-hmm. That it really does require that you are willing to kind of play full out in your own life. And I know for so many years I wasn't, and the way I was experiencing my life was really not great. And I so want the community that listens to this podcast to be able to make some of the shifts that I made that have helped me so embrace my life. It doesn't mean my life has gotten dramatically easier. There are still things that feel hard that, but the way I experience my life is a million times better.
Oh, yeah. I just remembered a moment from the weekend. It was so funny because all my friends are there, and my roommate's boyfriend, Luke, is just super country.
Oh, my gosh. I love Luke
And
with all my heart.
Before
And
everyone
Sydney.
left on Sunday, they had come into the kitchen, and Mom and all of my friends were singing karaoke to the top of their lung in the kitchen. They were about to literally walk out the door.
They were leaving. I'm like, oh, wait, one more song.
Like, it was the end of the day. The party was over. Like, there was messes everywhere. And instead of Mom, like, she could have so easily been so stressed out in that moment. Like, oh my gosh, we have so much to clean. We have so much to do. There's still people here. Like, oh my gosh. Nope. She was screaming karaoke.
She was singing David Allan Coe's You Never Even Called Me By My Name.
Yep.
One of my favorite karaoke songs.
Well, it was beautiful. And
beautiful is in air quotes, everyone.
But it reminded me, like, yeah, you really can just enjoy.
You can really just enjoy your own party, you guys.
Yeah, you can. And you don't have to feel so weighed down.
Yeah.
Because
the mess is going to still be there whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Tom has honestly helped us all learn a lesson in this, because really, as much as you want the house to be clean, or as much as you want something to go a certain way, and as much as you want your day to go a certain way, like, things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's never going to feel exactly like that if that's the way you're looking for it to feel.
Yes.
It's just going to be as much as you want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like Tom has really, really helped us.
Yeah. And I think too, just one more thought on this that has really helped me is that I think sometimes in these transitions, we are looking for, okay, could somebody just tell me the right thing to do? Like, could somebody just look at my set of giftings and my life and go, you should be doing this right now? Like, I think we do think that there's a certain job or even a certain calling, and I put that a little bit in air quotes, that is like perfect for us right now.
And we must be missing it.
And we must be, maybe we're missing it. What is it that I'm missing out on? And what I have learned over the years is it doesn't matter almost at all what the actual thing is you're doing, what your actual job is, what station of life you're in. The question is, can you bring your most powerful, nurturing, loving, passionate, fired up self to that? Mm-hmm. Because if you do, then that becomes such an incredible gift that you give yourself, that you give the people around you, that you give the world. I don't think it really matters, because I have had the experience in my own life of practicing medicine, which everyone would have thought, oh, that's a high calling in life.
Yes.
I've also had the experience of homeschooling my girls. I've had the experience of being a health coach, of selling essential oils, of being a life coach, of running a membership. I do believe, of being an author, I do believe that my job in life will probably continue to change, evolve. But because I understand now what it means to really show up to your life, what I know is that I'm going to keep showing up more as myself, more powerful, more fun, more adventurous. And that to me is really the key. So don't stress so much over like, what thing should I be doing? What person should I, like, I don't even really believe, I mean, this is probably controversial, but I don't even really believe that we have soulmates, that you're supposed to find the one right person. I think the point is you become the right person that you were meant to become, and those other things will happen.
Yes.
You know? And I think if we stopped looking so much for all of those outside things to make us feel a certain way, experience life in a certain way, and realize that was always and only something that we could do for ourselves. So I say that because we do have a workshop coming up at the end of September, which I think will really help people with this. We're going to dive deeper into all of this, and I think it could help make a really powerful shift for you. So before we get to our 3 things, which we are going to do today, make sure you head over to ediewadsworthcoaching.com/purpose and sign up for our next workshop, which is called Design Your Life, Live Your Purpose. It's going to be September 25th through the 27th. And you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see this incredible planner.
Guys, this planner is probably my favorite planner so far.
And when you upgrade to the All Access Pass to the workshop, you get this shipped to you. So while we have planners in stock, please go sign up for the workshop, upgrade. You'll get this shipped to you. You will get to experience our planner. We don't sell this outside of our membership, and we decided that this workshop, we were going to let you experience it. It really has been an incredible tool that has helped me live out the stuff that we talked about today, like live it out on a practical level.
Yes.
Okay, so Emmy, our top 3.
Okay, we have not been so
faithful to our top 3.
I know, and
we're rusty on our top 3. Well, let me go first because one of my top 3 is the planner. So she's a beauty.
I feel like people ask you all the time.
Yeah.
If you're selling your planner outside,
they always ask, "Will you just sell me a planner?" I'm like, right now, yes, we will. And you get to come to our 3-day workshop and you get a planner. So the upgrade for the workshop is like $27, and then you just pay the shipping on the planner. So literally you're just paying for the planner and you get the workshop.
Yeah. That is an amazing, I can't even believe it. I
can't either.
This is my favorite planner. I've actually been really trying to practice and like get myself to fill out my planner every day. And I really have gotten so much better at it. Mm-hmm. Even if it feels silly to me, sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I writing this down? But it really does actually, looking back, help me get a lot more done and just feel more productive throughout the day. So I just had to add that in there because I have been doing my planner a lot more.
Oh, so good, Em.
You know.
The thing of it is, I've told you this before, but when I started doing planners, like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, I would start them at the first of the year. I would do it through 2 weeks into January, and then I would not do it. And then the next year I would make it to February. And then I remember the year that I made it to like June. And now I faithfully fill out my planner every day. So if you're a person who, like us, has struggled in the beginning, like, I don't know if this makes sense, I'm not a person who could do that, give it a try.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it helps my day go, even if I don't if it even looks silly looking back, I'm like, I didn't even really follow that to a T. It still makes my day feel more put together.
Yeah, you live with more. I do think you live with more intention.
Yeah. Like, so good. You really thought about what you were going to do that day.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't exactly pan out that way.
I mean, rarely does it. That's fine.
Yeah, I know. My first favorite of this episode is my natural hair.
Emmy's been letting her hair go, everyone. It's so cute and curly.
I don't know what it is. I think mostly it's just summer and not wanting to, like, if we're on the lake or really honestly out of pure laziness, it takes me so long to do my hair because it's thick and it's like, if you're going to curl it, you got to blow it out and you got to, do all the things.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just have been feeling my natural hair lately. And
listen, you guys, someday I have to show you pictures of Emmy when she was a baby and a toddler. She had the most gorgeous blonde curly locks that you have ever seen in your life. We say all the time she was all hair and legs. Yeah. You had like little skinny legs.
red angry face.
And a little red angry face because she was mad a lot.
Every time I get brought up as a little baby, they're like, yeah, you were kind of mad all the time. So I don't know. But I've been, rocking my, I've talked about my favorite little braids. I don't have them in today, but maybe in the next episode, honestly. I have been really feeling it. And I even wore my hair natural for the engagement party. And
it was so cute.
I actually really liked it. And it's just interesting. I've never felt like I've had moments where I like my natural hair, but I always kind of regret not doing it. Looking at pictures or just seeing it, I'm like, oh, I should have taken the time to do it. But I haven't been feeling that way lately, and yeah, I'm so just cute. Loving it. So
okay, number 2 for me, y'all. When I was shopping for the engagement party, first of all, I went to Costco that day and basically had lunch at Costco with all their freebies.
Love that.
And then I went to Trader Joe's and continued my freebie lunch. And they were serving on their little organic non-crackers. They had spread some Bre cheese. I don't even like Bre. When I first looked at it, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to try that because I don't like Bre cheese. And my sister was like, oh my gosh, you have to try it. So those organic non-crackers, Bre spread on there. Trader Joe's has these spicy, sweet, pickled jalapenos.
It's really good.
Is it not the best appetizer you've ever had? So my thought was, oh my gosh, I'm going to make these for the party. No, because we ate the whole thing with my family before everybody got there.
It's like the perfect combination, and I don't really like Bre cheese, and I actually don't really like jalapenos that much.
You have to go try
And I loved it. It was so good. It's the perfect combination of flavors.
Yeah.
It is really
insanely good. So try that.
Pretty much anything from Trader Joe's, and like,
well, true.
You can go there and literally get a week's worth of groceries, no problem, for like $50.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yes.
But it is like 20 minutes away from our house, which I'm thankful that we have one in Chattanooga. I am. But it's like so hard to get to that I don't end up going on. Okay.
Katie says she goes on Monday mornings, so go on Mondays, friends.
I don't know why I don't do that anyway, but...
Now they have a date.
We'll be going on Monday mornings, but yes. Anyway, my next one is actually a real like shocker for me.
What is it?
So this weekend we talked about how we went to the UT game.
Yeah.
And actually, I've never really vibed with
UT Orange.
I don't really like
that. Is betrayal.
Well, listen,
okay,
because
go ahead.
I actually don't know if the shirt I was wearing was
the shirt you were wearing was not UT Orange. It was more like tomato red, but it was
no, it wasn't.
It was orange. But
you want it to be tomato red, but it wasn't.
Okay,
it was orange. It was more of a burnt orange, a little bit. So I'll give you that. Fine. But I also felt like glowing and radiant in those pictures too, which is never something I feel like. You know when you see pictures of yourself and you're like, okay, like I give up. But this weekend, that orange color, and Kylena looked at me and she was like, I think orange is your color, which is shocking to everyone because I literally would never pick orange to just wear on a daily
Go Vols, everyone.
Like, what's happening
Go Big
to
Orange.
me? Like wearing orange and wearing pink, hot pink. I'm turning into a new person.
Your mother.
Yeah, I'm turning into you guys. But anyway,
By the way, did you steal my tomato red jacket? I can't find it.
No.
Okay.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Carry on, everyone. That is a tragedy.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay. Anyway, maybe Ellie did. She did go through your closet.
She did. Ellie was here, you guys. She's so funny. She was here, for the whole weekend, but Tanner was sitting next to her at the party, and afterwards he goes, I did not know how wicked funny Ellie is.
Oh, she's hilarious.
He goes, all of her side comments about everything, I want to sit next to her at every event.
Every party. I know. And she's like, I'm kind of starting to turn into this as well, where like my social battery is draining a little bit faster and faster each year that goes by.
Yep.
But she is also the same way, and we come by it honestly because my dad is going to be hiding at every social event. He did really good.
He did so good.
He was like pushing the boundaries, but like for the most part, he's going to be
on the boat.
He's going to be in his room. Like he's not coming out to socialize. And Ellie is the same way, and I kept finding myself throughout the party if I would become like overwhelmed, I would be like, where's Ellie? She's definitely
where's
she's
Ellie?
Definitely not,
I need to see her.
She's definitely not in the crowd, so let me find her. And so we would be in like little corners hiding from people for a little bit. But I don't even know where I was going with that, but
okay, so you're orange.
I love orange, and if you catch me buying more orange things, I don't know.
Go Big Orange.
I don't know what's going. Go Vols.
You guys, we're gonna have a good year in football. I really feel like this is our year.
Another thing about the football game is they were playing UTC, which is where I graduated college from, and
all your friends were orange.
Yes, every single person wore the Vols colors. But even in Chattanooga, most people are Vols fans. It's not that far removed.
Yeah.
But sorry, UTC. Good
job.
Good job. You made 4 points, I think. I don't know.
It's great. Did I have a third? You go with your third.
Had a third.
What was my third?
I don't know. I wrote mine down. I always have to write mine down because there's no way I'm going to remember. But this one is actually from Katie. She showed me this because I don't have TikTok. I think it was like a TikTok trend. I don't know. But, subtle flex. Don't have TikTok. But, this Summer Fridays lip gloss is an extremely crazy purchase because it's $25 for a lip gloss, but it is seriously my favorite. Like, something about it is so good. I would buy it for $25 every time. I really would. But it also lasts me. I got one and it seriously lasted me a year. Which I don't know if that's like good to keep something like that for a year, but it lasted me a year. But Katie came up to me and she was like, oh my gosh, I ordered Summer Fridays off of Walmart's website and it was like $5.
Can we confirm if this is still available, Katie? Can you look it up for us?
It's really up in the air. Like, I don't know how, for these are the things I'm wondering. How are they selling the real thing for $20 off? Well, that's another thing I'm going to bring up. How are they selling the real thing for $5? Which then brings you to, like, is it the real thing? Maybe not, because it also doesn't, I'm going to be so honest, it doesn't feel exactly the same, but it's very close. Like, close enough for $20 difference.
Okay.
And then third, if it's not real, how is Walmart selling a fake? Like, how are they not getting sued for selling a fake version? So I have a lot of questions about that, but it's still available. Walmart website, Summer Fridays, you can get 2 for like $14. You can get a 2-pack right now for $7. 2-pack for $7. Something is going on. I don't know if it's real or not, but it's close enough to where it smells the same, feels pretty much the same. It's in the same packaging. It literally comes in a Summer Fridays box. And now I'll have those for like 2 years, so...
Amazing. Okay, I have so many that I could go with because we made an amazing fall dinner last night, which was so good. It's kind of a viral trend on the internet as well. It's basically just a sheet pan dinner, and you can put veggies, and we did kielbasa. It was amazing. And then those puff pastries with the cream cheese. So I originally saw this on my friend the Nestor's membership, and she was talking about it, being a viral trend, and it was really good. I enjoyed it.
It was really good.
Yeah. So we'll try to find the recipe for that. Write that down, Katie.
Write that down,
Katie.
And I will link the Summer Fridays, and we've written this all down. We're getting better, you guys.
A little better, y'all.
There's always like an up in the air. Like, if we say we're going to link it, you might find the link, you might not. But I think we have gotten better.
We're doing better. Okay. Well, this has been a fun episode. Thank you guys for joining us today. We love you so much. Thank you for every comment you send us, every review you send us, when you follow us on Instagram, when you share the podcast with other people.
It means so much.
It really does mean so much. We love you. We thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
We love you so much. Bye.